Why? Why?
Tell them that it's human nature. Why?
Does he do me that way?
Okay.
Ooh, I love that.
I'm done. Okay, so we're done. It was nice to meet you.
And I'm kidding. It's over. It's the end of the podcast. We got naked.
In a world we're vulnerable, considered weak. Come and remove the veil from entertainment's elite. It's the difference between what is real and what the public sees. So here's your favorite celebrities behind the scenes. It's refreshing, authentic, the whole story, specific. Life-altering events that shape the person that you hear. We got a champion and Cari champion. Hey girl, you did it. It's the greatest in sports and entertainment. Connected with us.
So, Jay, thank you so much for coming on Naked, fully clothed.
Hey, man, I didn't get the memo. Was I supposed to?
I mean, well, it's, kind of, not really. You just said something to me, which I think is interesting. We met in 2015.
We did at ESPN on First Take, and yeah, I just noticed that you were very knowledgeable and very sharp.
I fooled you. I got you.
No, you know what you're doing. There's some folks up there sometimes they be, you know what you're doing.
I was and thank you for saying that. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Always so kind. You just have such a nice, a very kind energy about you.
Thank you.
And when I was doing some research on where I wanted to start the questioning, I noticed that you talked about, and I wouldn't say mutual friend, but someone that was lost in the comedy community, and David Arnold.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to start on a low note, but I think he was such a nice guy and so well known. It really affected a lot of people because it was out of nowhere, seemingly.
Yeah.
What was your relationship with him?
I mean, I had followed his videos for a minute and seen his videos, but we met at I think it was the Laugh Factory. I met him, and we were just friendly on the stand-up community. And I would always see him. I would always see him putting more material out, and then it's just like he got a Netflix special, and I was so happy because I know he's been doing it for so long. You know what I mean? So he's been writing for shows, and he wrote for That Girl Lele. I think that was Gabrielle Nevaeh. She was on my show Unfiltered. So, we actually had a connection there as well. And I would just see him around and talk to him. And he was always a bright spirit. He always had a real good vibe about him. And he was undeniably funny. And I feel like he was just getting his just due. And it's so sad that now it's cut short because I think he's had 2 Netflix specials, right? He had one first came out, and then he just had a new one that dropped. So he was on fire, and people were finally noticing. And it kind of hurts when you see people that have been doing it for so long, and then it's just over. Because you're like, yo, there was just so much that was untouched. There was so many stones in his path that were unturned. So
I think a lot of people felt that way. People who knew him or knew of him. He was, as you mentioned, extremely friendly. The first time I saw him, he was doing some stand-up comedy at the Comedy Store, and he was making fun of Boris Kojo and his wife, Nicole Ari Parker, and he was saying they're just so pretty. It makes no sense. Like, it was something, and it made me laugh so hard because I was like, yeah, you just don't you don't even want to be around them. He said, when they come over to visit me and my wife, we put on our wedding clothes because that's the only way we can compete. And I used to think that is genius because that's exactly what you think of them.
Yep. And he was different. It's not the same comedy that everybody's doing. Anybody can do the, I was banging this such and such, I was smashing. Anybody can do that, but his comedy wasn't like that. It was only tailor fitted to him. Nobody else could do that but him. So
I'll try not to generalize, so forgive me. But you said we're losing too many of our greats too soon.
Absolutely.
What is it about the lifestyle?
Is it really a lifestyle, or is it just when your time is up, your time is up? You can be healthy as I don't know what, and just it be over, or you can have some mental problems going on with you, some mental health issues that aren't getting addressed, like Jack Knight, who sadly committed suicide. And then you have folks who just die naturally from causes like Bob Saget, who just passed away, or you have people who have terminal illnesses like Norm Macdonald, who passed away from cancer, and also Gilbert Gottfried, who just passes, or Louis, who's overweight. So you just
It's
never
not
know.
so much about being a comedian. It could just be the person.
Yeah.
They just so happen to be in this particular entertainment industry.
But it just feels like we have lost so many of them back to back to back. Raj G passed away a couple of weeks ago too. She was very funny. All of that within the span of what 4 or 5 months, we've lost all of these folks. So it's just it's so important for folks to just make sure that you do take every day and the folks that you do love, and you make sure that you make that a point to tell them, because you never know. When your number is called, your number is called. So
you have grown up with a lot of these people that you mentioned.
Absolutely.
Being fans, or you're watching them, or you'll see their videos, as you just mentioned. In learning more about you at 15 years old, and I think that's not unheard of for a lot of comedians, or even anybody who wants to be in any form or any field where you know you have a calling. 15 years old, you're doing stand-up. What is that like? Because I think that would be you probably couldn't even get into some of the clubs like legally that you were doing stand-up in.
It's all my dad's material. That's what it is.
Okay.
At 15, I wasn't writing none of that. He would orchestrate everything. He would have me. He would write material, and he'd have me do it as characters. So I'd have Bernie Mac talking about R. Kelly and Janet Jackson and the breast and all of that, or Steve Irwin or Cat Williams talking about it. So that's what my set was earlier. But it is, there are not a lot of clubs that let you in. I was at the Virginia House of Comedy. That was the club that let me in. And then a few years later, I started going to the Funny Bone. They didn't let me in until I was 18. And then you had Thoroughgood Comedy Club at in Virginia Beach. And what it was like, let me get back to the central question that you asked me. What is it like? Is it scary for me at this point? No, because I was already doing theater. So I already had the stage background. So the stage never scared me, you know. So having stage presence at a young age, what is it like? It's a pain in the ass for the older comedians.
Why? Because
they get intimidated. Because they're like, you know, because they take years to get a certain type of energy and confidence. And when you just go up there and you have it
naturally.
It's like, man, who you think you are? You gotta pay your dues. Who you think you are? You know what I mean? Actually, somebody told me that. It's funny.
I'm sure.
Shout out to him now. We're cool now. He's just up on the come up.
Oh no, for sure. I could imagine. That seems about right. That seems apropos.
You gotta pay your dues, man. You can't just be coming up here, man, and just killing, man. You gotta pay your dues, man. I was always about paying dues, but when somebody,
you're like, I did it.
I did, yeah. But here's the thing I always say: your success has nothing to do with somebody else's success. You feel me?
You don't have to tell me that. Look, what's meant for me is meant for me.
Exactly.
It will not pass me by.
And it's like, I didn't smash Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson did. You know what I'm saying?
Don't be mad at me.
He shot to the roof. He shot to the roof.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you next. What about, no, it was not. You said your dad was writing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was your dad, did he want to be a comedian? Was he one that
My
was
dad
not
is
able?
funny. My dad's one of the funniest people in the world. Just those folks that can just say the most simple things and just have you falling out of your seat. He's one of them folks. He always loves performing in front of people, but he didn't take theater. See, he didn't have that. I don't think he has the courage to get up there in front of everybody and do it.
So you're living the life he wanted.
Man, yeah. He was Joe Jackson. Yeah, for sure. That's what you were trying to get. I see what you were pulling.
I was not.
You were pulling for it. You were pulling. Yeah, it came out. You were pulling. My dad was Joe Jackson. He was.
Well,
now, literally, let me explain this. When I'd do the impression, and if I tried to deviate and tell jokes, he'd be like, "What are you doing? You're supposed to just talk like 50."
He was like, "What is that?"
Yeah, what is that?
We
and
didn't
he'd just be like, "All right, okay, let's start over."
But it sounds healthy, kind of.
Listen, Michael Jackson was the biggest artist
Listening
ever.
to Human Nature on my way here.
Oh, that's my favorite song.
Listening to Human Nature on my way here.
I can
just
do it.
Moments ago. Go ahead.
Reaching out.
Okay. Hey.
To touch a stranger. The city winks a sleepless eye.
Hey.
Reaching out.
Go. Hey.
Touch my window.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Sweet seducing side.
Give it to me right here.
They say why?
Tell them that it's human nature. Why?
Does he do me that way? That's
Okay.
I love that.
I'm done. Okay, so we're done.
I'm
It's nice to meet you.
And I'm it's over. It's the end of the podcast. We got naked. Actually, that was that song would always play in reference to my father because he's from South. He's a Southern dude. He's from Norfolk, Virginia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they love fishing, crabbing, and all of that.
Sure.
And since I'm from the South, I love it too. So my dad would always on Fridays sometimes he'd take me out of school and we go fishing, and that song was always playing on because it was always playing in the morning.
While fishing, while getting ready to go fishing
on the way there.
Okay, that song is, first of all, it's a classic.
Yes.
I'm not going to get into MJ all day, but I will tell you that's a classic. And Lady of My Life. Like,
me too. Those are the two songs that I love the most.
Out.
What?
Get out.
Get out of here.
I don't believe you.
I'm serious.
Those are my two favorite songs.
There'll be no darkness tonight.
Okay, guys, give us a minute. Let's do it.
Lady, our love will shine.
Give me it.
Lighting the night. Just put your trust in my heart, and I'll be your paradise.
Okay,
girl,
go. One more.
Your every moment in this world to me. Better, a treasure time won't steal away. Hey. So listen to my. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah.
I could.
You could give, please.
Don't pay this goddamn stuff.
Yeah.
So those are my favorite songs.
Me too.
I forgot what I was asking you, but that's fine.
We were talking about
your dad.
Back on track. Yeah. We were talking about my dad being Joe Jackson.
Okay, and then he was a good Joe Jackson though, because
yeah.
Not that Joe Jackson was bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was some similarities. It's cool.
Does that? Helicopter parents, maybe. Sometimes people call them that, or parents who are very, very intentional about what their children do.
Yeah.
The pros and cons for you.
Pros and cons for you know what? Honestly, I feel like my parents just wanted to find something for me to do that was productive, that I could make money at, that would just keep me out of the streets. So I don't even think that there's any cons to it. I think it was all pros.
But at 15?
Yeah.
Like your father figured that out for you at 15?
Yeah. I mean, what else? There was nothing. What else was I doing?
You could have been playing, sports.
I played football.
I did. Yeah, okay.
I played football. There was a lot of things that, there's a lot of things I'm great at. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I was cool at football.
Okay.
I learned it. I'm always somebody who figures things out towards the end when it's about and needs to count the most.
Okay.
I'll give you an example when I say that. I graduated from high school with a 3.06, right? The year before my senior year, I had a 2.45. I graduated with honors. I lost 75 pounds in 3.5 months. I was 250. I went down to 175.
Wow.
At graduation, people didn't know who I was. I made sure that at graduation, everything was straight. I read this book about Steven Spielberg, and it said they were talking about his grade point average. And they said he was a C average student. And I said, if I ever make it and they ever do right about me, I never want them to say he was a C student.
Is that a true story?
That's real.
Wow.
I just worked my butt off. I went to summer school, took algebra algebra 2, got an A in it. I was on a mission. I had to get that.
What I'm hearing is that you knew you were destined to be where you are.
Yes. I like how you picked that out. I like you did that.
Yeah.
You extracted it.
I was talking to Oprah today. I said, give me some tips how you interview. And Oprah was I'm kidding. I don't know.
I thought you was for like, yo, I couldn't tell. I thought you were for real.
No. I know her like hi and bye. I don't know her. No, but I think that's special. When did you know?
I think.
When did you, and by know, I mean, and let me be clear, I've said this before, when people know that they're destined for something different or special, doesn't mean that you're set apart and no one else is great. It just means that you know your life is meant to do something.
I think it was after I did this play in 4th grade called Pocahontas Well, you know Pocahontas.
I'm familiar.
You know what I mean?
I'm familiar.
Savages.
Is this a new Pocahontas, or you did a regular Pocahontas?
Well, this was before. They haven't remixed that one yet, so it was still the older one.
Okay, because you're like, have you heard of Pocahontas? I'm like, well, is it a different version?
Yeah, no. This is the Disney Pocahontas thing. This is straight out. Okay, so this is what happened.
Okay, go ahead. I'm ready.
I wasn't solid on my lines, and my teacher, Mr. Sammons, knew that, but he still put me out there in front of the people because he saw something in me that was different. You know, it's like
shout out to a good teacher.
Yeah, but I was sweating, and I performed Powhatan. I was Powhatan, and I did it in front of the parents of my classmates, and my classmates had to help me. From the back, they had to feed me lines for me to get through it. Yeah. But you know, I embarrassed myself so much because I said to myself, I am never ever not going to be prepared again because and this is what I want to do. I'm never not going to be prepared again. Like so, fast forward to 2004. 2004. Mind you, it's this play called Damn Yankee. Damn Yankees, yes. I'm playing Mr. Applegate. Now, 2 weeks before the play went up, the lead dropped. Mr. Applegate, he dropped. So Miss Schuler, my drama teacher, what up, Miss Schuler? How you doing? She gave me the part, and I had to learn all of these lines within 2 weeks, and I did it. I learned every single line, killed the role. And I go out to the lobby, and Mr. Sammons was there. And Mr. Sammons said, I knew you had it in you. He said, I knew it. I was trying to pull it out of you. That's exactly what I saw. And I was like, Mr. Sammons.
Give me this school that you went to. Tell me about this community, because these teachers are really doing their job.
Yeah, this is Greenbrier Intermediate School. That's when Powhatan happened in Pocahontas. And this Indian River High School is where I went to high school at. And also middle school was Crestwood, my 6th grade year. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yo, when I went to, cause like for the first 6 years, kindergarten through 5th grade, I was in a pretty predominantly white school district. You know, we were in the burbs. That's where we were. Okay. So I sounded like them. So when I showed up at Crestwood, which was in the black district, all the black people looked at me like, why you talking like that? You sound white. Why you talk like that? Wait. He said, no, this sounds a little New York. They ain't sound like that. Let me put the country in there. Here you go. Why you talk like that? Why you sound like that? You sound white. Why you talking like that? And then, see, that's me flashing back. 3 months later, right, I go home. I start talking to my mom. She's like, why do you sound like that? I started sounding like them. I was like, cuz, Mom, that's how they talk, Mom. You feel me? That's how they talk. This is how they talk. Look, this is how they talk, Mom. You know what I mean? So I started getting the black experience. Got bullied, got picked on, bam. 7th grade, Indian River, same thing. Indian River Middle School, which was another predominantly black school. And then 8th grade was Greenbrier Middle. They had just made Greenbrier Middle School. And I went there for the first year. They had it open. And that was a mixture of everything. Yeah. Everybody was in there. It was white people, black people. And then 9th grade was Indian River. And then 10th grade was GCA for 1 year, private school. And that's where I became.
Why'd you move so much? Why'd you bounce around so much?
I was trying to, in middle school, I had no choice. Okay. That was just because we moved.
Fair.
And then, districting, wherever you're at, feel me? But high school, I requested to go to private school 10th grade.
Why?
Did. I wanted something. I was getting picked on. I didn't really like it. I wanted to do something different. And I went to private school, and that's where I became a comedian. That's where, because these folks were trying to joke me too. And I was like, wait a minute, man. I just got joked by these folks over here. I'm not coming over here and letting y'all do it. So it was like an ownership I took of myself. And I just was like the rebel. And I would I don't know. I made the seniors look stupid. I would do that because I didn't care.
Comedy was often what I've noticed for a lot of people. It's your way to fit in. It's your way to be cool. It's your way to be popular.
Absolutely.
Was that the same for you?
Yeah, well, yeah. It made me really popular at GCA. It made me so popular there. Yeah.
And you're like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. And I'm joking people. That's what I'm cooking folks. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to cook people.
That's the calling.
And it was so funny because they're so uptight. So when you got somebody that comes in and, you know,
So, but when you were in the play,
yeah,
4th grade, I think?
4th grade, yeah.
And you knew that was the moment you were destined to do something.
Uh-huh.
Was it to be a comedian or was it to be an actor?
It was first one was entertainment. It was like period. Like I love this. I love this feeling. You know what I mean? When I was the stand up, it was like, oh, people giving me instantaneous feedback. I love this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I love that. And then, you know, being on stage, you're reading the script, but doing stand up, it's just you.
How often, even to this day, do you employ making people laugh to change the dynamic of a room, to change your relationship with somebody that you might not be cool with, but want to be cool with?
It's so funny because if I'm really comfortable in the room, I'll go ahead and just do my thing. But if I'm not, I'll be quiet and I'll just sit and just watch. Yeah, I'll just watch people. There's been a lot of times I've just been like, oh, this is not comfortable. I'm just gonna be quiet over here.
How would you describe yourself? Shy?
Yeah, for the most
Introverted?
part. Introvert. Yeah. I mean, I'll take being home over going to a freaking island any day. You know what I mean?
Really?
Just chill. Well, no, the island, you be by yourself. I'll go to the island.
Yes, you will. Yeah. You won't go out to the party.
Right, yeah. Forget the party. Thing. I can stay in the room. You go order room service. You don't have to go out.
So you have this path that you're on.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, for me, Saturday Night Live is what you're synonymous with that.
Absolutely.
You were not the youngest cast member?
No. Second youngest black cast member, but
second youngest black.
Eddie Murphy was the youngest.
Stats?
Yeah, hey.
Okay.
Hey, I watched.
Eddie Murphy was the youngest.
Eddie Murphy was the youngest, and then Robert Downey Jr. and then Pete Davidson are tied. I think they both got it at 20. And then me 22, and you know,
how'd that experience happen?
Forget the rest. You don't matter.
I don't know who they are. I didn't even know who any of those other previous ones you named. I'm kidding. So you get. I hear, because I even talked to Sam. You know Sam J?
Yeah, I know Sam J.
Of course, I talked to her about it. She's like, she didn't know what was going on, but she did it. She just figured it out. I hear that. I hear this all the time. This is awful, guys. I'm about to name drop. I just interviewed Will Ferrell. This is awful. Sorry, I'm not trying.
Oh, absolutely, Will Ferrell.
Correct. And so he's telling all these stories about it. And I hear it's either really great or it's really awful or it's really both.
I think I got both.
Okay.
I got a mix.
Tell me about the really great.
You're 22 coming from going on the road with Charlie Murphy for 3 years and working at Burlington Coat Factory. Besides that, you ain't got no other work experience besides Golden Corral and Steinmart and PetSmart.
So wait, are you saying Burlington Coat Factory, PetSmart, Steinmart don't prepare you for SNL or being, no?
I mean,
customer service is not
customer service.
Okay. Got it.
No. You have to be, I mean, I would say those places allowed me to broaden my craft just because I would be there. You know what? To go back to what you're saying, I would make people comfortable at work. I would make them laugh.
Sure.
Because Burlington, especially at Burlington, is everybody is really stank.
You're right.
The attitudes are really funky. You know, they're standing in the line for hours because there's slow cashiers. There's no air conditioning in this place. Don't know why there's no air conditioning in this place. People are stealing stuff. It's a bad environment. But
I've been there.
What I did, where did you work?
I did not work at Burlington Coat Factory. When I first, you want to hear this funny story, when I first started working at ESPN, I didn't have enough winter coats and they had a Burlington Coat Factory. And I walked in, I was like, this experience is something I don't want to have again.
So you talking about from a customer's experience.
Exactly, let alone work there. I can imagine.
Well, working there is 20 times worse.
I can imagine.
Now, the people are great there. That's my family. But the stuff that happened was just
it's a lot.
Crazy. So I'd be in customer service and I would be cracking jokes, doing impressions, and that was my thing.
Oh, wait, so why you bullshitting? That did prep you for SNL.
Yeah.
Like I'm being silly, but you were still honing a craft.
Yep.
Even while there.
Yep. And then Charlie Murphy definitely helped with that as well. Him having the Chappelle audience, whereas broad is everybody. It's white, black, Spanish folks, the Asian people, everybody is together laughing.
Yeah.
And I've always had that crowd. It's even continued now. So that got me ready for SNL. Damn, 22, being on SNL, not being a improv performer for real. You know, I mean, I was on an improv team at VCU for like 4 months.
What is the difference between improvisation and stand-up?
Oh, because stand-up is just you on the stage. Improv, you got more people on stage with you, and y'all have to play off of each other.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You want to turn that? You want to turn your phone
I
off?
don't know. What was it?
Is that who is that? Barack?
No, that's not Barack. That's one of my friends. I wish it was Barack. I would have picked up.
I would have loved to talk to him.
I would have said, "Hey man, you know, I'm doing Get Naked with Cari."
Yes, I like that you put Get Naked. Yes, we're just gonna call it naked.
Get Naked. I would say Get Naked. That's what I would have said. I would say Get Naked. I would say, "Hey Barack." we snip around it. I would say, "Hey Barack, I'm gonna get
He'd
naked."
be like, "Sir, goodbye. I cannot be around any of this."
Well, sorry that I called you at this moment.
You're correct.
I'll hit you back.
So yeah, I did, 22, I was just young. I was young on that show, and I had to figure it out. Was trying to figure it out the whole time.
Do they give you any grace? I feel like they like get in there, figure it out. I'm not helping you. That's not funny. Moving on next. I mean, that's funny. We'll use that. I don't even think I would.
It's cutthroat.
Be like, yes.
It is cutthroat. You have to audition for your job every week. Damn. Imagine that. Imagine if you had to audition.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't, right?
I probably am, for sure. I probably have in my career, sure.
Right, but
I
now.
don't think, not now, but I don't think I would. If you didn't do well, would they fire you on the spot? Are there stories?
Well,
I've never heard of those stories.
Firing right on the spot, only when like Jenny Slate dropped the F-bomb and she didn't get picked up for her second season. So I think it's with things like that when like you can't control yourself on national television.
Okay.
Like they look at things like that. Okay. But as far as you have to be funny enough to make it to the next season, I guess. You got to have some sketches that pop. Mm-hmm. You can't, if you only got one sketch the whole year.
What was your very first sketch that popped at 22?
Lord, it was early. It was early. I mean, on Weekend Update, when I did the Will Smith, that popped. And then the next one, the Denzel Returns and Exchanges. That was the big one. And that
I don't
was my
remember
next
that.
show.
Give me that.
Which one you want?
Returns and Exchanges?
You wanted, I see what you're doing. All right, so yeah. You kind of you're putting the line out there. You put the line out, and you're reeling me in. That's what you're doing, right? Yeah. So I got with Brian Tucker. He's one of the writers on SNL, and want to use your Denzel impression. I said okay. I said all right. So what we gonna do?
That's crazy.
And he just came up with this concept. I sat with him and we wrote it, and it popped. It was everywhere. It was on Access Hollywood. Denzel actually saw it himself. He saw it. And he said, yeah. I think he's really good. The kid's good. He said, I saw him doing another one before he did that one. He did me and talking to Will Smith. I think he's good at both.
Your impressions are legendary.
Yeah.
And the knack for being able to pick up on the little things that we don't even pay attention to, like the finger pointing. Denzel points his finger like that all the time in every interview and whatever he's doing. I mean, every time how do you do that?
It's observational comedy. It's like you want to absorb everything about a person. You're paying attention to everything about. I paid attention to other people so much that I wasn't paying attention to myself. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
That means what?
That means I wasn't like, I pay attention to other people like I wasn't aware for a minute about things with me. Even my style of dress. I should have been paying attention. I shouldn't have never wore American Eagle.
Okay.
Never should have wore American Eagle. I look back at some pictures of me from 2013. I'm just like, man, why wasn't anybody talking to me? Somebody should have said something.
All valid questions.
Valid questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe because they were giving me, I was getting so many free clothes when I was on SNL. Because I was getting so much publicity, so people wanted the brands to get seen. As I got older, I noticed that they didn't like me. They just wanted to use me to get seen. But it's all good. But
so what was that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
For that to be an opportunity, and you have these celebrities being like, oh my God, he's amazing. That would really be a lot for me at 22 years old.
Yeah.
What was the downfall of all of this attention, all of this newfound fame, and people wanting to be around you and be your friend?
What was the downfall of
If
it?
there were.
Man. I mean, okay. Sacrificing time with your family, personal relationships. Like, I mean, me and my girlfriend broke up on the show. You know what I mean? But cool. That was natural. You know, she was stressing. Sometimes you can't stress somebody out. It's a breaking point. You feel me? So that just not getting
to the ladies, don't stress out your man.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hey, you don't stress. You want your man to succeed.
Don't,
if you want to be with him, don't stress him out.
I don't know what that means.
You're supposed
That's
to
pretty
be,
vague. That's a vague response.
Well, you're supposed to be somebody's vacation, not their personal hell. You understand?
Huh.
You get me?
Okay.
It's an escape.
Okay.
You're supposed to be the timeshare.
Were you a vacation?
Huh?
Were you?
I'm always a vacation. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yes.
What kind of question is that, Cari? I'm always a vacation.
Always a vacation.
Okay.
And always the one providing the vacation.
Yeah. On top of that, you're right. You're right.
That's
My
right.
bad. I don't want no problems. Okay. I delve into arena I do not want to get into. I'm so sorry. So you broke with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then.
But in general.
But was it just hard to be there? Did you ever have days? Because we all have days. Or I'm like, I don't feel like coming to work today.
Oh man. Yo, okay. There we go. Now you busted something open. Yes. Yes, there would be days. I mean, especially when you're at the table, your sketch is killing. It doesn't get picked. Or you write 3 sketches and you submit them and they don't even make it to the table. And you're just sitting there like, yo, what the hell am I doing? I am working, overworking. And it looks like I'm not working because I'm not in the show. But behind the scenes, I'm putting my foot in everything I'm trying to do. Putting my foot in it, like the South. And it's not working. What's happening? So let me go do stand-up real quick, because I know I can kill on stage here. Even if you have a sketch that bombs, you're like, man, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You can get on that stage and get that gratification from the audience. You get that. So
you write a sketch, it doesn't even make the table to even be considered.
And you've been there for numerous years.
And then someone else's sketch gets considered.
And they've been there for months.
And subjectively, you like, that was not even funny.
And it wasn't funny. The writers bring it and they make it funnier, but it still doesn't have the oomph that it needs. And you're just sitting there like,
I would feel away.
What the hell am I doing?
I would feel away.
Yeah.
I would feel away. And then you could go, how long of a stretch could you go in a season without being on, or if your sketch wasn't used?
Oh, well, guarantee you get paid every week.
Yeah, I know, but if you're not on air, for 2 months, would you feel away? Does it ever happen?
Yes, I would feel. I will tell you this: 2014-2015 season of SNL. That to me was my worst season. I think I got 3 sketches on the whole year. There's 22 episodes. 3 sketches? What am I doing? I'm getting percentages. Like I'm 0.2 every. If you divide that, I'm not even a real person. If you divide it up, I'm not even a real person. I'm like a toddler. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a real person. Wow. A toddler is a person, of course.
Yes,
shout out to the toddler. I don't offend nobody in the toddler community.
Next thing I know, toddlers at me or mad at me.
Making TikToks.
At him, don't at me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that was so arduous for me. That year was.
That's hard.
I didn't get it, and I'm like, man, I'm working my ass off. I think we got Kevin Hart. I think it was the Kevin Hart sketch. When I was impersonating him, and that was Leslie's idea for us to do that. She was like, you gotta do it. A couple of things on SNL have been from Leslie telling me I should do it.
Oh, good.
That's some real stuff. I gotta say that.
That's nice.
The comedians meeting, that was Leslie said, you gotta do something on that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And it blew up. And it got the most hits from anything I did on the show.
Wow.
That's so insane to me.
Wow.
There's always that it makes sense. Yup. Behind every successful man is a Leslie Jones.
Okay,
you know
in short. Correct.
You understand?
Correct.
Strong black woman.
I've heard of them before.
You feel me?
I understand them.
You understand?
I
You
do.
do. Yeah. You got your guns too, god dang it. You know what I'm saying?
So you leave SNL. I don't want to fast forward through it, but
Yeah.
I understand the experience.
Yeah.
And I've heard about it so many times. I hear so many greats have come from that. That's a school.
I'm gonna say this though. It's not like there are highs too. I had so many highs.
I would
on that
imagine.
show, but I had lows as well. And with those lows, it eats you.
Yeah.
But the highs are what brings you back. So you need highs in order, because if your highs and your lows ain't balancing out,
Yeah.
you might.
And my business is like, you're only as good as your last live shot.
You're only as good as your last work. That is my motto too.
This daily, you pop up and okay, that bombed. I'm awful, and then you come back and you're great. Oh,
Yep.
yeah, I'm back great.
You're only good as your last work, so you got to make
It's
the
so
last
tough.
work. That's real talk.
That is a tough business to be in,
Yeah.
and, especially at the level in which you do it. When you leave SNL, when
Yep.
you are no longer on the show, what are your thoughts about what's next for you in your career? Were you excited? You're like, the world is my oyster, or were you like,
Yeah,
whoa?
I felt like the world was my oyster. Kind of happened simultaneously, but I had gotten the show White Famous that summer. I found out I had it. So, even though the things at the job was looking shaky, it was still like, at least I got this to go to. It's a shot in the park. It's a pilot, but it could get picked up. Jamie Foxx he's a fan of mine. I remember when he first came on the show, he was like, yo, man, why they ain't using you, nigga? Why they not using you, man? So
We're not editing that part.
So listen, he said, man, you are so talented. They need to use you, man.
Yeah.
They need to use you, man. So he was already a fan. So I had that relationship and that rapport with him. And I kept in contact with him. So when White Famous came around, he was doing it. I said, okay, cool. This is going to be, all right, this makes sense. This makes sense for me. So I was ready. I was ready to get to that.
Yeah.
And see what that was gonna do. Unfortunately, it only had one season.
Yeah.
It came out day after my birthday, and it got snatched a day before or after Christmas.
Showbiz.
Crazy.
That's what they do.
They don't care.
No, not at all.
At all.
On to the next.
Not on to the next. But I learned a lot with that as well.
Sure.
And going back to your thing, do you think the world is your oyster? Yes, I do think it's my oyster. That's what I was thinking when I got off SNL. Because I saw the careers of Eddie Murphy. He was up there for 4 years. Tracy did 5 years.
Yeah.
Chris Rock, even Chris did 3, but he's Chris Rock. You know what I mean? So I knew that I was going to be things were going to happen. And then look at that year. I was hosting the
I think Video Music Awards.
I did that too.
Yeah.
I hosted that, and with Gigi Hadid, I did not the Critics' Choice, the what is that? AMA Awards.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
The AMA Awards. I did that. I was the cartoon Legends of Chamberlain Heights. Everything. There's so much. As soon as I left, there's so much work.
You're like that hot chick in the you working with your dude. And then,
so everybody wanted to smash.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
In other words.
Yeah. Sorry. Did that sound really?
I said take you out. You said they wanted to smash.
Man,
go ahead.
Listen, it's 2022, folks. These are how people think now. And Instagram is just a buffet. It's bad.
Instagram
is a
full-on Tinder.
It's like a menu.
Yeah,
it's like
for
a
sure.
menu of you just scroll through the menu and be like, oh, that's nice. Oh, that comes with powdered sugar. I want that.
A
You
date
know what I mean?
on day. I get it.
It's crazy.
I know.
Like,
Side note.
Yes.
Okay, wait. So then you're on all these dates.
Yes.
/ smashing, and you're feeling more comfortable.
Feeling wanted.
Feeling
appreciated.
New relationships.
I feel like these folks are so excited about me. And all the gleam, they're holding my hand.
Yeah.
They're buying me flowers.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. They like
still
you.
looking in my eyes.
Yeah.
When they're finished. It's great. It's amazing. It's a good little thing to be on.
Yo, instead of ignoring you while at dinner on the phone.
Yeah, instead of just sit. Sure, how was your day? Well, yeah. Good.
With the mumbles,
Yeah.
I have to ask you this because okay, who's your favorite comedian of all time?
All right. I mean, I've got a top 5, but I'll tell you my
And
favorite
any-
comedian of all time.
Okay, number 1,
All right, Eddie Murphy,
of course.
of course. That's
Okay.
the guy.
Okay.
Number 2, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Bernie Mac, and Robin Harris. And Richard Pryor, I would say, is above, like up here.
What does that mean?
You can't even put him in a category.
So it's Richard above all,
Richard's
and
above
then
everybody.
it's Eddie.
Yeah, but still,
but Richard's set apart.
Yeah, and Eddie was doing he'll tell you.
Doing Richard, yeah.
He was doing Richard.
Yeah.
It's funny, a lot of the stuff, sometimes I'll say something like, hey man, you doing Eddie Murphy. I was like, no, I'm doing Richard Pryor. Eddie was doing Richard too. He was doing like that.
What is your take on the fact that people say that Dave Chappelle is now the GOAT?
I find no seriousness in that argument. I feel like he's the greatest.
It's very
of all time.
similar to so obviously sports is the background
Tom
for
Brady.
me. So or if I said a top 5 and if I didn't put Michael Jordan as one,
Have to, yeah,
it would be blasphemy.
right.
But there's a generation of people who say no.
They'll
no,
say
actually,
LeBron.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I say to you, is that unheard of to hear that Dave Chappelle is now being considered the GOAT as opposed to Eddie Murphy?
I don't think it's unheard of. Generationally, he's crossed over because of his consistency. Like Dave Chappelle has put out, he put 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. What does he have? 8 specials?
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy only has 2.
But when he walked away from the Dave Chappelle show,
Yeah.
would anybody have thought he would have rebounded this way? I know everyone thought he was sad and crazy,
Yeah.
and he shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
And he walked away. I remember everyone criticizing him in the comedy community.
Yeah.
I
would have took the fit. I would have done whatever.
Correct.
And that's the difference. That's the difference. When you put your integrity and you always rooted and cemented in something substantive, you don't have to do what everybody wants you to do, because eventually your talent is gonna explode, and it's going to fuel you, and it's gonna put you back, if not further up than you were before, if you do decide to drop and do something else. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No. I think about what I started to become a fan. Obviously, I love the Chappelle show, but I became a fan during the pandemic because it was just so smart and so thoughtful. And he was giving game.
Yeah.
Like, he was telling us about the business in the most honest, sincere, candid way. You couldn't deny, at least for me, I couldn't deny that. I was like, this man's a genius.
Yeah.
In that moment, that's what I
Absolutely.
felt. Eddie Murphy is different in the sense, for me as a fan, he seems mysterious, and that keeps him, I think, in GOAT status.
I believe that too. It's so funny. I've said that before. No, I am not.
Are you just trying to agree?
I'm not just agreeing with you.
Tell
I would
the
tell you.
truth
I would
with
tell you
the F.
difference.
Tell
Eddie Murphy is he's like a mythical creature.
He is.
I've said that. Like Charlie Murphy called him the Wizard. I'm like, that's your brother. Yo, man, you ready to go meet the Wizard?
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you call him the Wizard?
Cause man, he's mysterious, man.
He is so mystical. I agree.
He's mystical, man. Mystical, not the one to shake your ass mystical.
Not that guy.
He's mystical, man.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So God bless him. He got a couple of problems, man.
Okay, so there's a tour, and I just have to get your take on this because I have so many different comedians that are like, there's this tour, and we have Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock and Kevin Hart. And Dave Chappelle came, I think, out and introduced. No, who did the introduction? Who's on tour together? Is it Chappelle?
It's Chappelle and Chris
Rock, right?
I think Kevin came and did a guest.
And did the intro. Are those the biggest comedians right now?
Absolutely, without a doubt. I mean, you do have and Joe Coy. Joe Coy is.
That's a new. Okay, give me a name.
Joe Coy is huge. Joe Coy is one. He's the first comedian that's taken Filipino culture and globalized it. I'm so serious.
Really?
He's been in the game grinding for years, and he's so sweet, and it's the same thing. He had that day. David Arnold would have done that. Probably would have done that.
Oh.
He would have had his audience and had that. But he's so, it's so nuanced to him. Nobody could do that. But well, of course, another Filipino comedian, but not like him. Still, the stories, even if they would be similar, he's put it on a large scale. And like, yo, he bet on himself. That's what I wanted to say. Dave Chappelle bet on himself. Yep. He knew that his talent was worth way more than $50 million. And he knew that he was going to wait until that deal came where they were going to pay him properly for him to be like, okay, I'm coming back and I'll give the world what I feel they deserve.
That's interesting. There's a saying, Candace Parker, I heard her say it first.
Shout out to Candace Parker.
We love Candace Parker, right?
Yeah.
And so she said when she won the championship last year for the WNBA, Chicago Sky, she said, this is for folks who don't know her, she said, I wanted time to tell my story. Because when she graduated from Tennessee, she was hailed as one of the greats. She would be greater than Lisa Leslie. She would be greater. And then she didn't do as well as what people projected. And then she won one chip when she was with the Sparks, but then everyone kind of was like, she's lazy. They had all these bad things to say about her. And then they were like, redemption, you get your chip. And she's like, time will always tell your story. And I think of that for Dave Chappelle. Time will tell his story, which it has. And when I think of time and I think of these comedians, I remember someone saying that Chris Rock and Will Smith will work it out publicly and they'll bring it to us.
Yeah. Time
will tell the story. Do you think Will Smith, after that incident, will have a different story? What will his future be?
I
think he can redeem himself.
I mean, of course, because he's super talented.
Correct.
He's super talented. I feel like the squeaky clean image has been tainted. You know, and to hold that for 30 plus years
Impossible.
In the industry, nobody else
besides
Bill Cosby did that. And you know, later,
you
saw what happened.
Okay.
But you know, everybody is a human. Will Smith is a human being. Of course, Chris Rock said some things about Jada back in 2016. From her not being invited to the Oscars.
Sure.
And from what I understand, from what I deduced when I watched it, I feel like that's why Will Smith went up there and was like, that was a layaway smack that he did. You know what I mean? You feel me? Like,
okay. Did you say layaway?
Yeah, I was a layaway smack.
Do we still have layaway?
Yeah, they still do.
Okay, cool.
I definitely have it in Burlington. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. That's why I ain't going back. I ain't going back to the streets.
We're not doing it.
I'm not bagging up nothing.
I think, and this is my take on it, I think that the squeaky clean image, as you say, needs to be removed. I think that's going to be the best thing for his entire life.
Because that's really not 100% authentic to him.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. I think now once he gets over whatever it is, if he works it out, it'll be so much freedom.
Yeah.
You've been in this space, maybe even with SNL. Maybe you felt like you couldn't be as free as you wanted to be outside of your job.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good point. That's a good damn point right there. You good. She real good. She real good. She be doing the digging. She be digging.
Connecting the dots and did your thing.
So you felt like this. I see you. You have very, very good skills. Who trained you? Oprah trained you. She did.
I watched her.
She trained you.
That's my
Wendy
girl.
didn't. Oprah did.
No, I know. No.
Wendy didn't train you. Oprah trained you.
You stupid.
Shout out to
Wendy.
Shout out to Wendy.
Okay, hey Wendy.
What up? She's like, oh my God, are they talking about me? Oh my God. Oh my goodness. They're talking? Yeah.
But I just feel like he ultimately, whether he feels it or not now, as he creeps his way back into the social media space. And
he needs to use me. He has to. He has to use me. Everything's better in chocolate. He has to use me.
What do you mean?
Because if he used me as PSAs and I talk for him, they would like him quicker. I'm telling you.
I agree with that.
It's a chocolate thing. Man.
I know. Or it would just be a little more relatable thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's relatable now.
Right now.
Were you so surprised at the response? I mean, just how for like weeks it was a story.
I mean, the fact that was a story over
the war.
The
war.
Over crime. Like, right. What are we doing? Over the Ukraine. What are we doing?
Yeah.
That was the 10 people that got killed in Buffalo that came and went in the news.
And we still talking about the slap. That is so true. Insane.
It doesn't surprise me that it's lasted so long because the earth is everybody's shallow.
That's
And
fair.
everybody is always concerned because their lives are boring. They're more concerned with other people's lives who are more glamorous and luxurious than luxurious than your God dang it, I can't speak today.
Go ahead.
More luxurious than theirs.
One more time.
Luxurious.
You got it.
Thank you.
You got it.
I
hate when that happens.
What is happening?
It happens to me all the time on live TV. It's no fun. You don't get a chance to say it over and over again.
Yeah, no.
We're gonna edit it and keep just the one part.
Good.
Okay.
I'm glad. Good. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Wait, hold on. Okay. Oh, say, look, we gotta wrap this up. I kept you. Okay, we only got like a few minutes left. First of all, you have been a pleasure. Such a
thank
joy.
you. We never got into. I'm gonna tell you what we didn't get into. We didn't get into the cloth being torn off and me feeling like I could be more free outside.
Get it? All right. I got the time. I got the time.
Listen.
I got the time. I
would say this. Why move my hands?
I don't know. That's why I stepped back. Okay, say it. And what are you about to say?
Okay. I will say that SNL does have an audience. You feel me? They got an audience, it's predominantly white folks.
Yeah.
That's their audience. Older white folks and early teens, college kids, but Caucasian college kids. So they're bringing they got a newer fan base now, audience. That's because, they got some black writers and they've had folks on the show who are black in the recent years, myself included. Of course, Kenan Thompson holding it down as the longest running cast member ever. He's built for that show. He's the GOAT. Also, the Leslie Jones and all of that. So, of course, some of us watch, but it's not an overpour of black people that watch that show. You understand? So,
yeah,
I felt like on the show I had to learn because I curse. I do curse. You know what I mean?
You're allowed.
I'm loud. Well, thank you for telling me that.
You're allowed to curse all the
I'm
time.
allowed to curse. I thought you said you're loud.
No, that too, but you're also allowed
so
to
2
curse.
for 2.
Okay.
Right, that's what he said. No, you are allowed. Let me not take it, but you are allowed to curse.
Yeah.
But you can't use all of that language on SNL. You can't use the street lingo and all of that. You can't do that.
Sure.
Well, I couldn't do it. Of course, Michael Che will write whatever the hell he wants to write. But
different rules for
different folks. But if I had a ass or a bitch in a sketch, mine got pulled.
Really?
I can't even say that. But y'all can say dick on air. You let one of my friends say dick on air. And you tell me that I can't curse. That makes no sense to me, but whatever. Maybe it was the person. It was the person. Maybe it wasn't
Your hands are up.
My hands are up.
Your hands are speaking for you as well. Go ahead. I'm aware.
Absolutely. Whatever. Maybe it was the person. It was the person.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
But on stage, what I say comparatively, it's totally different. Even my Barack Obama impression on stage and on that show, total different. On stage, strong, in command, totally. Not saying it wasn't in command on the show, but it was different. It was scripted. It wasn't me being able to be authentic to what I felt Obama really wanted to do or
Which
really
is
wanted to say.
What do you want to
Just
say?
say fuck everybody. That's what he wanted to say.
Fuck you. I've been working hard as hell, and you all won't get off my back. Well, fuck you. Can you do it? You can't do it, can you?
You ain't lying.
What is your IQ? Mine is 145. What about yours? Exactly. You're a chicken shit.
That's what I think he just wanted to say. And I never got to bring that energy.
Like, I know he wanted to be like, fuck you, Trump. Like, especially when he did the handoff.
Oh,
he wanted to be like,
oh, yeah. When you saw it.
Yeah, he was just like, this fool.
This man doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, clearly. I know it now. Country's in trouble.
If there's a pandemic, that comes, we're gonna be in trouble, and he ain't gonna know what to do. When they announced it, you had people go to the supermarket. They got water, toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and they left the soap on the shelf. What? So you're just taking shits and using hand sanitizer. So basically, you got shitty fingers. That's what you got. Basically.
In short.
In short, shitty fingers with some Purell. There you go. Yo,
Correct.
that'll fix the world. Shitty Purell, people. Let's all just do it. That's what caused the monkeypox.
Guys, no, seriously.
Yeah.
Because black folks love a conspiracy.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
Just like they would, wait, what were they trying to say? They said, yo, don't put the mask. The funniest one I heard, don't put the mask on because, they got transmitters. I said, what?
Well, do you remember my cousin worked at the Pentagon, and when we were in lockdown, everyone had a cousin who worked at the Pentagon.
Oh,
I had some. I was like, you don't know anybody who works at the Pentagon, and if you do, they don't have that type of research, classified intelligence with them just to give to you and tell you how we're gonna be living our rest of our lives.
That's like the classic.
The classic thing of what black folks
friends.
say.
I got a gay friend, so I can say this.
So I said this to you before. I loved the movie that you ran on Netflix. I love a rom-com.
Resort to Love.
And it's Resort to Love, and you played a not so good guy who cheated. I think you dumped her, but she didn't know because she was focused on her career, and you had moved on to a whole new boo. And then she was finally getting over you, but you had gotten engaged to somebody else.
Well, okay.
And then you happened to go to the same resort where she was singing at.
You took. I'm glad the way that you analyze that character lets me know that I did a good job.
I was mad at you.
I did a good job.
And she wanted to date your brother.
And it's what type of stuff is that? Oh, now you try to smash my bro?
Yeah.
What?
Fair.
How is that fair?
Because you moved on. You were engaged. And then you tried to get her back.
I got engaged. But here's the thing, though. I need
you guys to watch this movie. Resort to Love is so good.
Jason King is a character who was a boy trying to grow into a man.
Okay.
He hadn't got there yet.
Correct.
And by the end, he had reached that manhood because he had to make a decision. He had to man up and choose what he wanted to do. And he chose the right choice.
Okay.
He didn't have to backstep. Why? Because if he was with that person, if they were supposed to be together, if she was the person that was supposed to fit in his perfect picture of a family, then they would have ended up together.
You're right.
That's how life is.
Okay.
That's how life is. And I've been through that shit. I know how that feels.
Wait, was this based off a true story?
Not off my true story.
Tell me, this happened to you? You dumped a girl? Are you kidding me?
I've dumped many girls.
Was it?
I wasn't, I have. But
no. So that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Y'all go. It's a comedy, guys.
It's a comedy.
You said it really. It's com-rom. Did you call it
rom-com? Yeah.
Rom-com, com-rom.
Com-rom, the same thing. That works. Com-rom.
You actors, you guys, you have so many different things. Okay, wait. And you have another movie coming out.
I do. One just dropped, Out of Office with Leslie Jones, Kim Jong. Kim Jong. Yeah, he ain't in it. Kim Jong.
Okay.
He's in the movie.
But what if Kim Jong was in it?
Lord have mercy.
How do you get him to audition?
Set. I don't know. He wouldn't have had to audition.
He just would have did it on. He would have filmed it. Do you think he would have came on set?
It would have been a hologram. He wouldn't have been here.
Could you imagine?
No, I couldn't. I don't want to. Every time I hear North Korea, I start itching. I start feeling weird. It's the level of security and the level.
Could you imagine?
I don't. Yo, that's just. They can't do anything. Like somebody got in trouble for playing a music. Somebody got killed for playing a music.
You're not allowed to do anything. You're not so there's no laughter either. But he wasn't in it.
No, he wasn't in it. But Kim Jong is in it from him
Hangover.
From Hangovers, from
he had a series on ABC for he played a doctor because he was a doctor in real life.
Dr. Ken. Dr. Ken. He was and also now he's up there with Robin Thicke and all of them on what is it? I Can See Your Voice. I Can See Your Voice. He does that show too, but he does the other one. Masked Singer. He does Masked Singer.
I was like, I Can See Your Voice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm like, what is that?
My manager is on it.
She's on it. She's a Masked Singer. We watch it all the time. Go ahead. Yeah.
You met the Masked Singer.
I Can See Your Voice.
Go on. I can see. That's another show he does though. It is. But he hosts that too. But yes. So he's in it, and it's funny. Milana Van Trub from the AT&T commercials, she's in it as well.
Okay.
And Chris.
What's the story?
Oh, it's about it's an office comedy about how Zoom, it's like
what you get what I'm trying to say. It's a comedy about how everybody's working remote now.
Oh yeah.
So it's about working remote and
From
all the
home.
crazy things that are happening while people's screens are on and you know but it goes further too. Like we finally get together and are in person and have this crazy party. But it's just about it's about the current state of working like at an office and how it goes now. You know, and it's with twists and turns, so many twists.
I feel like that is it's so random when you have to go back to the office now.
Oh
We've ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, I don't,
like there's just no way we can just be in the office 8 hours a day.
Yo, Family Guy just opened up their offices again, and they're like, yeah, we, you know, you can, but you know, we get it, you guys. I'm like, no, I kind of like working from home.
Yeah, in my
Feels
underwear,
good.
minding my business, not doing nothing.
I don't have to wear pants.
Yeah.
Why do I wear pants?
Yeah.
Just sitting here in these silk drawers. You don't even know what I got on. I'm just chilling. Everything's comfortable.
Can you, if you don't mind, before I let you go?
Yeah.
Because you know, I have, and Beyonce understands this. I have a professional crush on Jay-Z. So, give me very professional because I think he's very successful.
Yeah, of course. You know, the thing about being successful basically is following up and consistency until the end. You know, the difference between Galileo, Aristotle, me, and somebody like, you know, Vanilla Ice would be, you know, the persistence and the consistency. Right. You haven't heard of Vanilla Ice track in years, but he tries to sell real estate. You know, you've heard consistency of me for years, and I sell real estate.
And
that's
you do
the difference.
And your wife is Beyonce.
And my wife is, she is. You stay away from her. You know, and also, you know, now we have, you know, 3 beautiful children. Yeah. 2 girls and a little boy. So, you know, and Solange is there too.
So what is she doing?
Just standing.
Looking,
and, you know, plotting like this.
Making sure you act right. That's tough.
I'm really scared.
Yeah. I could not even imagine. Have you done? Of course you've done this for Jay. What does Jay say to you?
It's funny.
What did he say to you?
Jay-Z calls me, when he sees me, he goes, yo, what up, fake Jay-Z? I was like, can I get a picture? No.
He said no.
Yeah, no. Yeah, come on, like you're here. You're here.
Yeah.
You're in it, you know?
Yeah.
You don't need a picture.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You have, when these people are blown away, and we've talked about this, Jamie Foxx says you do far better impressions than him.
There you go.
He didn't say far better?
Yeah, well,
he didn't say he pales in comparison?
Jamie Foxx said, hey, man, I can't mess with you when it comes to impression. He said, man, you got so many motherfuckers spot on, man. He said, that's a talent, man. He said, man, I don't want to do my impressions around you, man. He said, shit.
Did he move forward like that too?
That's exactly how he moves. That's how he moves. He moves like this. He's like Jello.
I'm aware. I know. That's what I'm like.
No, he's like conditioner. When you pour it out the bottle, you know,
just moves real slow. This is how
slow.
Okay, so
yeah.
I'm sorry. Jimmy Foxx is like conditioner.
Yeah, he's hair like conditioner, baby. He's
okay,
like
got it.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Okay, so you've done your impression of Eddie Murphy for Eddie Murphy.
Oh yeah.
And he says he does great impressions too.
You know what's crazy though? Eddie doesn't think. It's so funny. Eddie thinks that I do the movie version of him. Like he thinks I do like he's explained it like this. He says, yeah, Jay Pharoah he does a good like buddy love, but you know, me just talking in regular conversation, I don't know if he can do that. I've never seen anybody capture me like that.
Well, that's because he didn't talk to nobody.
Yeah. You know what's really funny? I just did. That's so funny because he doesn't talk to people. You know, he's not connected. And so it's funny because I just did Eddie Murphy talk in an interview. The way he talks in an interview.
I want to fight your hands right now.
You want to fight my hands?
Because I need to. I do.
I mean, that's what it is. It's all about the fingers.
The fingers.
The fingers.
The shit's in the fingers.
The shit's in the fingers. Just like Chris Rock. See that? Over the Chris Rock
it's
fingers.
in the fingers.
It's the fingers.
Do you master the fingers, the
Yep.
hands first,
The
and
hands
then
aren't
move
first,
on?
but the hands are definitely a key point to the impression.
Because it's exactly who they are.
Yeah,
Chris Rock's fingers are so long and skinny, and you
he
do.
got the
yeah.
penguin fingers.
Yeah, I don't.
From the penguin,
Do
the villain from
penguins?
Batman.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah,
do penguins have
The
fingers?
penguin, yeah.
Okay.
The ones, the male cover part, the Danny DeVito where he played him.
Correct.
He got the SpongeBob Krabby Patty fingers.
Oh, yes, he does. I agree.
Yeah,
I don't even know who those people
Those
are.
are Krabby Patties.
Okay, I'm with you. Those are his, and they like crab. I got it. I
Yeah,
got it.
you know, because he can, you know.
I'm
pick.
so impressed by you.
You're
You've been
impressed?
nothing but
Thanks, man.
kind. Thank you so much for coming by.
Oh, you
and
kicking
spending
me
some-
out?
Yeah, because it's time to go home.
Okay, all
it's
right.
time to go home.
All right, if I have to.
I mean, I know you want. We can hang out all day and make fun of people.
No, but you would get into a good. You said something else.
What I say, what I did. Why are you looking at your manager? Let me look back there.
I'm looking at her. I was checking
Oh,
her
you look at
face.
it. You just look at all around.
No, I check her
wanna look
face to
too.
see if things are funny, if it's enjoyable. Because if I look back and her face is torn up, I'm like, well, this ain't going well.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this-
Well,
this
I think
is-
it went
really
well. I think it went well.
I'll tell you one more thing.
Give me one
one
more
more.
thing. Okay.
When I met Denzel Washington, at the AFI Lifetime Achievement Award ceremony for him, I see him at the after party, and I walked up to him. I said, "Hey, man, Mr. Washington, how you doing?" He goes, "Oh."
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can totally see
He
that.
said, "Yeah, you owe me a lot of money, Negro. You know that, right?" I'm keeping you hot. You know that, huh? I'm keeping you hot. You know I am.
Thank you, Jay Pharoah. I
Thanks for having
appreciate
me.
you.